Doc, people listen to us for nonsense, and we give it to them in spades. Nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. Some would even say, on our best days, malarkey. Braves, defending champs. Boy, it sure would be a shame if there was no season next year and we were just still the defending champs.
Also, this guy that got hit, how old was he?
46.
What a loser, just sissy man. You just got punched in the face by a 90-year-old man? Come on, dude.
I'll bet Doc is like the Sinbad of Ames, Iowa.
Oh,
because people, I didn't realize, I thought it was just a Doc thing with the corn jokes. Iowa people love corn jokes.
Well, you know what they say, knee high by July, baby.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that's killing in the Midwest right now. I'm sure when that hits their ears, they're like, that Doc, he gets us.
Doc, what do I love more than anything? That's right, an angry football team.
I prefer to think of Warsaw as like a battle of who's the best saw, right? So you have like a sawzall, you have a skill saw, you have a hacksaw, handsaw. It's just a battle of saws till the death.
Welcome to the Spaghetti Junction Boys podcast. That was a low blow. Coming to you from beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. I am your host, as always, joined by the one, the only Doc Jacobson in Las Vegas. But if you're a longtime listener of the show, you know we cannot yet call him Vegas Doc by how his picks have been doing. We need to bring that back.
We do. And unfortunately for the abbreviation being VD, which also stands for venereal disease, big fan of Vegas Doc. But VD, not a fan of.
I think everyone was just completely lost when you got into VD.
Probably. I mean,
thank you for spelling.
You got to put people's minds straight.
Yeah, everyone was thinking you were talking about your Valentine's Day, Doc.
Valet driver. I think that's what they were thinking.
Before we get things started, we want to thank our friends over at Manscaped. Support for the Spaghetti Junction Boys podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. The best in men's below-the-waist grooming, Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SJBAtlanta at manscaped.com. It's time to take care of yourself, so go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code SJBAtlanta at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code SJBAtlanta. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. So, Doc, you're a man who appreciates convenience, no?
Absolutely. Convenience is the spice of life.
So when I saw a clip from the other night in a game between Loyola of Chicago and Duquesne where play was stopped because of an Uber Eats delivery driver walking onto the court, I thought, what the hell is Doc doing at a Duquesne game? Because that's just, you know what? I don't want these nachos from the concession stand. Maybe I'll get a spicy burrito from somewhere nearby. Bada bing, bada boom. Hey, your order's here at the arena. Oh, yeah, just come on in. Just come on in. So you've seen this clip, right, of the Uber Eats driver where has to stop?
I did see it.
And my favorite part is that not only do the players not know what's going on, even though he's on the court while they're on that side of the court, but the referee is just so beyond baffled by what the hell's going on that he just looks at the driver and gives him like a get off the court, like what they do to the coaches.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if this guy gets off the court briefly, yeah, it's no big deal. But I have an infinite amount of questions on this.
The hand gesture, too, that the referee gave, it looked like he was saying, like, I'll come get it in a minute. Sit down. Like, it looked like the referee had ordered the food, which was also hilarious.
Well, if there's one thing I know, it's that no one is in more trouble for this than the security at Duquesne's arena.
Yeah.
Because if you try and go anywhere on the field, on the court, on the pitch, what have you, security tends to tackle you and so forth. But for this guy to have such clearance that, one, you're not supposed to be able to bring in outside food. Some places even confiscate like goldfish crackers that are meant for
Water
infants.
bottles. Or water bottles,
And
too.
this guy got to the doors that were either unmanned or security was like, yeah, of course you're Uber Eats. Come on in. We don't have food here at this basketball arena. And so he gets into the building as one. But then typically you have security on getting to your seats that are courtside. And that's usually like your top end people because, you know, it's your high value clientele. And just buzzed right on through. And then this idiot just walks on the court. Like, the security, everyone's getting fired, right? Like, there's no explaining around this. This was the first call that was made was to fire the head of security.
Yeah, it is. I will say, though, from my time at Iowa State, it is not that hard to get down to the floor. I was in the student section one time, and I went down to the ESPN commentators because my dad coached him in football like back 20 years ago. I just walked right up to the commentator, shook his hand, and said, "Hey, Coach Jake says hi." He just looked at me, gave me the weirdest look ever. Like, what?
Was the game going on?
What?
Was the game going on, or was this pregame?
This was halftime. This was halftime.
Halftime's not as bad.
But yeah, no, I agree. Yes, but it's not like they have everything barricaded off, and this guy has to, jump 3 fences and spin dodge.
I'm saying that there's security guards there. You can't use Ames, Iowa, as the standard bearer for security. All you have to do in Ames, Iowa, is go, "Hey, buddy, I'm actually down there. Oh, sorry, can I see your ticket? Oh, sorry, I don't have my ticket. Oh, no problem, pal. Just go on. You look like a trustworthy guy."
Yeah, you're not wrong there. You're not far off. But this might be the greatest Uber Eats delivery guy ever. How many times have you ordered that into your neighborhood and they're like, "Oh, we can't give him the gate. Oh, we're 2 houses down. You got to walk outside and go meet him." They never put the freaking food in the right place. Leave it at your door is – you might as well just throw money out the window if you tell them to leave it at your door because it's not going to be at your door. And this guy might be the greatest – he has to be like 10-star. He goes to 5-star. He has to be like 10-star. I mean, he is amazing.
Do you just park on the curb in front of the entrance? Put the hazards on?
He might have pulled into where they pull in the ambulances and stuff, and the team buses come in.
Oh, I'd love that. That'd be great. I'm guessing he's never seen – either he's trying to become an influencer or something, and this is like a bit that was done, or he's the most oblivious son of a bitch on the planet. Because the play is going on that side of the court, and he's like, honestly, if he would have put up a shot from where he was at, it would be ruled a 2. I think his foot was on the line.
It's kind of like it was equatable to like when you're playing pickup and you're on that side of the court and everyone's they've got the extra basket there. They're trying to do their layups and they're getting in the way and they're just bumping into you as you're trying to set up for a 3-pointer. I mean, this guy was trying to get in the game. And if he had on a basketball jersey, somebody would have passed him the ball.
People have been coming up with theories on whose order this was. People have joked it's players on the bench. A lot of theories about it's the referee. A lot of people are just assuming it's a fan. I have an open your third eye theory that might explain this whole thing, the logistics of it all and so forth. This individual is not the driver. This is the guy who ordered the food. The call is coming from inside the house. So this guy is undoubtedly high. So he's high so he can take in this Loyola Duquesne awful basketball game. And he's like, "Man, I've got the munchies. I'm starving." So instead of his brain thinking like, "Hey, man, just go up and get concessions," he's like, "What do I usually do when I'm high? Order Uber Eats." So he orders Uber Eats, meets the Uber Eats driver at the entrance, grabs the food, and maybe he's chummy with the people there, or maybe found a door that was not being manned. Either way, he gets the food in, and then he has his ticket to show to the person like, "Hey, yeah, I am by the floor." And then he's too high to realize that play is still going on and just walks on the court because he does look a little bit dazed. So my theory is that guy is not the driver. He is the recipient, and he is very high.
Yeah, I mean, in the real world, that checks out, and that's probably what happened. But in Doc Brain land, no, absolutely not. This guy is a hired assassin. There might not even be McDonald's in that bag. Did you think about that? Maybe it's a gun. Maybe this guy's a hired assassin going into the stadium, kind of as an Uber driver. And the reason he looks so dazed and confused is he's looking for his target. And he doesn't care about basketball. He might not even know what basketball is.
So this referee saved some lives.
This referee might have saved somebody's life. He might need a medal. Key to the city. Key to Duquesne. I don't even know. Is that in Ohio?
I don't know.
And if it is in Ohio, then it's definitely grounds for an assassination. I mean, let's be honest. People in Ohio are murdering people left and right.
It's in Pittsburgh.
Not much better. Not much better. I'm gonna keep my theories right there.
What are Yins doing? Oh, nothing. Just bringing McDonald's.
Hired assassins.
I am on record as hating Uber Eats as well as hating DoorDash and everything of the sort because of the fees are insane and the menus, the prices are different than if you just go into the restaurant. It's just unbelievable laziness because you're ordering that in, unless you're drunk and incapable of driving, then it's just the cost of doing business. You just got to do it instead of getting behind the wheel. But you're looking at spending, including tip and their fees and the menu. You're spending a good like $20 extra on your food than if you just went and picked it up. And so I am very against this. I think the weirdest place I've ever had food delivered though is I was working for a company a couple years ago that was would spend money on strange things, but then get really cheap on other things. And one of the things they got cheap on was providing food when there was like a little conference or out of town meeting. And so we were down in Florida at corporate, and they ordered a bunch of deli sandwiches for all of us who were in from out of town for lunch. And it was grueling meetings all week. And the next day, I'm looking forward to lunch. I'm like, man, I hope it's better than the deli sandwiches. Do you know what the lunch was? They ordered so many deli sandwiches that we just ate the remaining deli sandwiches that they had stored in a mini fridge. And so I was just hungry that day because I was like, those sandwiches sucked day one. And now these are leftover sandwiches. The best ones of these bad sandwiches were already picked through. And so I just didn't eat lunch and just moved on. And then day 3 came. It was eat the sandwiches that are still left from day 1. And
Were you in a prison camp? Were you in a prison camp?
There was like 15 of us, and they ordered like 50 sandwiches, which I was one. When that first happened, I was like, this is too many sandwiches. I should have had my third eye open that day to be like, hey, some of these sandwiches probably going to be tomorrow. And so then I made sure, because I was so hungry on day 2, that I was like, hey, so what are we thinking about doing for lunch? Like slip that in during a little break. Hey, what are we thinking? And, oh, there's still some sandwiches left. So it'll probably be easier to do that so we can just keep on going with the meeting. Say, okay. So what I did was I placed an Uber Eats order to be delivered when we were having our 30-minute lunch break. I then say, got a call coming in, got to take this. Walk out the office, go down, meet the driver, and there was like a little, this is a big office park, so there was a little pond there in Boca Raton where I sat on a bench and I ate the Five Guys burgers and fries that I had delivered for myself. And a couple of my coworkers, after they ate, decided to go for a walk around the pond, and they just see me eating a fat Five Guys burger right there on a bench. And I've never been called so many names in my life. Like, why didn't you tell us you were doing this? So forth. I was like, man, this was a covert operation. The more people that are involved, the more dangerous it gets. I had to do what I had to do. Doc, did we lose you? Did you just say, okay, that's enough about sandwiches, I'm out of here? You there?
Yeah, we're back. Sorry, I had a technical issue. Lost Wi-Fi for a minute, but we're back. You got me?
Yeah.
We
right.
show the people, even the pros have issues with internet every now and again.
And the chutzpah on you in the pre-show to say my internet is a zoo, and then you black out for like 15 seconds. I'm sitting over here. My story's ended. My story, the point in podcast.
I was on that Five Guys Burgers and Fries.
If you went out in the middle of the story, that's fine. I was just talking and talking. But we reached the point, this impasse, where you're supposed to take the baton and go to the reactionary point of the story.
The biggest question I had with the whole story was what was on the burger. I mean, Five Guys Burgers and Fries is nice. We go mushrooms, a little Worcestershire sauce, barbecue sauce, bacon. What are we talking about? What are we dealing with here?
Obviously not mushrooms. I love this country. I don't want to spit on the flag. I'm Rick Monday. I'm saving the flag. It was just a bacon cheeseburger, double patty, bacon, cheese, buffalo sauce.
Did you go Cajun fries? It's pro move.
Of course.
Pro move.
Of course.
Pro move,
Do I look like a rookie cowboy? You think this is my first rodeo? You're damn right. Those are Cajun fries.
That look you got on there, that giddy up. You sure ain't your first rodeo there, bud.
Damn right. Yeah, I got the flannel on and everything. A big poser move for me. So don't go out there.
I'm trying to think of like the weirdest place that I've had Uber Eats delivered to, but I don't really Uber Eat that very often. So I would say I accidentally ordered Uber Eats to my sister's place in California when I was in Atlanta. So does that count?
I was just telling someone the other day, we were talking about Hotwire, and I had to cancel a Hotwire booking. And I said they did refund me one time, and I was driving. It was a snowstorm in northern New York, and I was going to – I'm trying to remember the name of this town, but it's not important to the story, so I'll just, for posterity's sake, say it was Frankfurt, New York. And I put that in and, just trying to do it while driving because I needed a place and didn't want to have my eyes away from the wheel for too long. And then I'm like getting closer, and I put in the directions to this hotel, and I'm like, oh shit, there's no Holiday Inn in Frankfurt, New York. It turns out I go to my booking. I booked it in Frankfurt, Germany. How that happened. And again, it wasn't Frankfurt, but it was a German town. And so I call Hotwire. I was like, I explained them the situation. She goes, so are you not going to make the booking? No, I'm in rural New York, and this is in Germany, and it's for tonight.
You should have hit her with the, have you invented teleportation yet?
Yeah. And so eventually they refund. Okay, I have a story about that has stuck with me all these years of someone who was a dick to me in customer service when I was like 12 years old. And this person, without a doubt, does not remember this, but it has stuck with me for 20 years. I had rented a NCAA football game on Xbox when I was a kid, and I rented it while we were vacationing down to South Florida at a local Blockbuster. And I didn't realize it when I packed up my stuff to go back to Georgia that I had included that game in my packing. And so I called the Blockbuster and told them the situation. Again, I'm in like 7th grade. And I said,
you're not trying to mastermind a free video game here. You're just trying to apologize.
Yeah, I was like, I fucked up. But I'm 12, so I'm like, I'm so sorry. I really screwed the pooch. I call him. I explained the situation. I said, so I don't want my parents to have to pay late fees. Can I just have them drop this at the Blockbuster in my town? And the person goes, Yeah, until we have a worldwide blockbuster network where we can just check these in wherever we want. No, you can't do it. You have to bring it to us. And we're like, what the hell was that for? Even at like 12, where you're not fully sentient, I was still like, that's not cool to do to a 12-year-old.
That's not nice, mister.
What the hell?
You never heard of a fucking phone, dude?
Yeah, so then my parents had to overnight this back down to Florida, which probably cost more than the late fees.
Oh my god. Your pops must have been pissed.
Yeah, that was.
God damn it, Michael. Yeah, customer service people, they can really suck. They're just not fun, especially with the phone companies or cable companies. I don't even know.
They have
I'd
to
rather.
deal with so much nonsense that if your job is just in customer service, I can understand how you can get a little squirrely because people can be horrible to you. But this is just an employee in this blockbuster. Your life can't be that stressful and that bad that you're just like, oh, this 12-year-old is asking how you can get out of a predicament. Let me just fuck them up real quick.
Unless you're like 35 years old working at a blockbuster for $14 an hour, then you might want to have a drinking problem and some thoughts of bad things.
I get that. All right, well, let's get into Gamblin Dans. We're just doing 3 picks this week, just like last week. The field goal was the changing moment in the Jaguars game from Doc and I's picks. He had Chiefs minus 8.5. I took the Jags 8.5. That game ended 27-20, thanks to that Riley Patterson field goal when they were down 2 scores. Doc went 1-2 on the week. He also missed the over in the Bengals-Buffalo game. Who would have thought Josh Allen would score 10 points? So I can't fault you there, Doc. I did, for my whammy, take the Bengals plus 5.5. That hit bigly. Bigly, the Bengals hit that. Both of us took the 49ers minus 3.5. That obviously hit in their 19-12 victory over them Cowboys. That was Doc's whammy. So Doc went 1-2, but hit his whammy. I went the big 3-0. So pair that with the 3 weeks. I went 5-0 in the regular season. That's the 4th undefeated week of the year. Harry Truman, thank you. Let's get to the picks, Doc. You want to take the first one?
Yeah, I'll take it for a ride. I'm going to go San Francisco plus 2.5. That should be my first pick here. Love Brock Purdy. Although George Kittle did go to Iowa, he's still a good old Iowa boy. I'm going to root for him. They're just out there having fun, man. They make the game look effortless. You can be in a tight game with them where the offense is kind of sputtering out against a good defense like they did against Dallas last week, but they can still gut that game out and win. I easily think this game is more than a field goal. I mean, this is going to be very, very probably similar to how that Dallas game went. They'll contain, Jalen Hurts and just really keep this game tight. So my first pick is going to be that. And my second pick, I'm going to stay in the same game, and I'm going to go with the under 46.5. I cannot see this one being a shootout. Both defenses are the top 1 and 2 defenses in the league. I mean, this is not going to be a blow them out 50-yard pass every other play to Deebo Samuel or Devontae Smith. I mean, that's just not going to happen in this game. It's going to be a 20, 21-point game max. I mean, I think I see maybe 5 scores in this game total, with 3 of them being field goals. Nostra Doc is coming out there. But yeah, give me 49ers plus 2.5 and the under 46.5.
I'm going to echo you on that under. I'm absolutely with you. Under 46.5 and 49ers and the Eagles. The Eagles have, I believe, the best pass defense in the entire NFL, if not the best, one of the best. So the 49ers, who can be run heavy a lot at times, I think you're going to see a lot of Christian McCaffrey and a lot of Elijah Mitchell in this game. And the 49ers, D'Amico Ryans, give that man a head coaching job. It would be inexcusable if this coaching search season, with all the jobs open, comes and goes and he doesn't have a gig. He is absolutely brilliant back there. They have a lot of just horrifying players on that defense. I like the Eagles a lot, but I like that 49ers defense probably even better. So I'm with you. I see this maybe 21-17, maybe 24-20, something in there. I don't see this going over. My next one, I do see the Bengals and Chiefs going over. Give me over 47.5 here. Joe Burrow just looks so smooth. just so smooth. That offense is operating really, really well. Hung up 27 points and could have put up more if they wanted to in that game in Buffalo in the pouring down snow. Joe Burrow won his last 3 games against the Chiefs. I really, really like the Bengals to keep it going. And Patrick Mahomes, you saw him leaving the press conference. He had no brace on the ankle. He had no limp. I know the Bengals defense has been playing a lot better, but Mahomes is going to get his. He just does. I think Isaiah Pacheco is going to have a really good day. I think Kelsey's going to continue being the absolute nightmare that he is. So I think this one will go 31-28, something like that. I think we'll see some points. I think we'll get the over.
I like it. For my whammy, I'm going to that game. I'm taking the Bengals +1 as the line is today. That is Thursday the 26th at 4:05 set Eastern Coast time. Because that line's just been flipping all over the place. That's why I wanted to put that jurisdiction in there. But I just – yes, Patrick Mahomes injured his ankle in that game. And, yes, he was not the superhuman that he normally is when it comes to playing football on quarterback. But they still should not have let the freaking Jaguars get within 7. Like, there's so many mistakes that they made. Their defense looked porous against Christian Kirk and freaking Trevor Lawrence. This Burrow connection to Chase is going to just destroy the secondary that is hurt, injured, banged up, whatever. They're just porous. They're not going to be able to stop them. Give me the Bengals in a tight one. I like the over as well. I almost went with the over with you too, but I think Bengals win this one pretty sure-handedly by a touchdown.
I am also going to ride with the Bengals +1 with you. I just out of all 4 picks that are on the board in terms of the over-unders and the spread, this one's far and away the easiest one for me. I see the Bengals winning outright. If you gave me Bengals -2.5, like I would tease the Bengals to a favorite. Yeah. I think the Bengals are going to win. They are just piping hot lately. They are executing on offense so well. They're getting guys like Hayden Hurst involved and Samaje Perine involved. Whether it's Joe Mixon running the ball or catching the ball, he catches 3-4 balls a game. And then you have Jamar Chase, who can't be stopped, T. Higgins, Boyd. That's a hell of an offense. They've had Kansas City's number. They're calling Arrowhead Stadium Burrowhead. I think it's going to be more of the same. I don't buy into bulletin board material because it hasn't mattered thus far for the Chiefs versus the Bengals. And I don't think that this is the best Chiefs team that the Bengals have faced in that time by a long shot. So I think Mahomes will get his. I think Kelsey will get his. I think the Bengals will get more. So, who day?
Is this game in Atlanta?
No, that was going to be Chiefs.
Bills. I always got confused why they tried to pull that one over our eyes and make that happen, but whatever. Non-starter.
That was interesting how that all came about, and a lot of NFL reporters are saying the NFL is using this on a trial basis to see if this is something that they could potentially do. So they were going to use it as a test case to see whether or not they could start doing that for the AFC and NFC championship games, which I am all out on. I think the Super Bowl is interesting being at a neutral site. But other than that, I'm not a neutral site guy. I do not like it in college football when they say, hey, here's this SEC team and this Big 12 team, and they're going to play in Houston. Or this Pac-12, and they're going to play in Atlanta. No, I can't stand that. I think it takes a lot of the pageantry out. And I love championship weekend where you see the snow coming down because a lot of the warm weather cities aren't making it that far. You see the snow coming down, and these two teams are playing for the chance at the Super Bowl. It just puts you in the field. And maybe it's just nostalgia that's making me get there, but I really like that on-site championship round.
Yeah, me too. It's just too big for the city to not have it there in their hometown. The Chiefs hosting. It's too big of a thing. It'd be really bad for the NFL to do that. So I'm glad we didn't get a chance to see what it looked like this time.
Why should you reward the 49ers and the Bengals for having worse regular seasons than the Chiefs and Eagles? Because that's who's important is the Eagles.
Yeah, it totally takes away that 1 seed importance,
And you're making these fans spend more money to travel to another city. They're likely going to price gouge even more on the tickets. It's just a bad look. If NFL, if you're going to do it for the Bengals, the Bills hypothetical game, why didn't you do it for the Bengals Bills? Because that game was played in Buffalo, and you're saying, hey, we don't know who's going to win that Bengals Bills game. The Bengals were winning and driving. And if the Bengals would have won, they would have been the 2 seed and the Bills would have been the 3 seed. Yet they still put that game in the divisional round in Buffalo. For the third time this podcast, third eye. This was never about being fair and neutral, or else you would have also done it for the Bengals and Bills, but you didn't because you wanted a test case for the AFC NFC championships. Stay alert, my friends.
I almost drew an eye on my forehead there for you, and brotherhood, in consolidation with you.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks, as always, for listening. Don't forget to check us out on our channels on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. Check us out on Twitter at SJB Atlanta. Check Doc out at SJB Doc. We'll see you next week.